Okay, I believe we're live here on the Prosper Nutrition Show. Welcome, everyone. We want you to prosper and be in health. My name is Jason Steves. I'm a clinical account specialist with Perk Integrative Health, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Steve Steves. He is a certified clinical nutritionist and naturopath. He owns and operates and is the head nutritionist at Nutrition and Health Center and Prosper Nutrition. So welcome, Steve. Glad to have you here, and welcome everybody.
Good to be here, Jason. We're going to spend a number of weeks prepping people for getting detox for the new year. And the importance of this topic probably exceeds everything else we talk during the year, because when the body's toxic, disease runs rampant. We're going to cover that today, the effects of chemicals in food.
Right. We got our 30-day detox. We're going to be launching that in January and announcing it and doing a class. And so y'all stay tuned. This is the booklet here, the 30-day detox booklet. It goes into great detail about how you can have a successful detox. And it's not just 30 days. You can do it for longer. It's really easy to do. But definitely stay tuned. We're also going to give you a discount at the end of the show today, a discount code for order on supplements that we talk about on the show. So stay tuned for that as well. If you are watching live, I want you to remember to please type in questions in the chat. There's a chat box to the right of the video. And so if you're watching live, you can type in questions in the chat. We'll take those questions in and we'll probably answer them live for you. We want to have that interaction with you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on topic either. If you have a health question that's concerning you, feel free to share that with us. But yeah, Steve, as you were saying, we are going to be talking about detoxification a little bit today, but the subject is more geared towards chemicals in our foods and cancer, right? That's a big issue. I guess the question that we posted is, are the chemicals in my food causing cancer? Do you ever have that question asked of you at the office?
It really doesn't come up. I think people have been hearing it for so long that they've kind of become dull to it.
Yeah.
And the fact that
so maybe they're not even thinking of it too.
Right. They rarely think about it. And yet they come in with their plastic bottles and they're getting that BPA and all the different carcinogens that are out there. Our goal is to, like anything in life, we're trying to minimize the toxicity of effect of what's in this world and get away from things that tear you down and then give you more to initiate repair. Because as we talk about inflammation, this article that we found from the Oxford journals is Carcinogenesis, the environmental immune disruptors, inflammation, and cancer risk. So toxic disruptors, as they talk about in this article, play a role on how the immune system responds and is able to repair itself. Otherwise, it starts to break down, whether it's actual chemical toxins or bacterial microbial toxins. They're one in the same in their department of toxicity, but they have different effects on different systems in the body. A lot of which starts in the gut. The digestive tract is key for good health. A good point to get into, Jason, when we talk about our Scorbate vitamin C flush. And on our Prosper Nutrition website, Amy did a video, my wife. She's done a couple videos, and it was really popular, just explaining to people how to do a C cleanse. Folks, this is the most valuable tool for detoxing and immune boosting. And last week we talked about that as well, the importance of keeping immunity strong while we support detoxification. And these are the resilient areas that'll keep you around for a long time and keep you healthy, because toxins contribute to heart disease, contribute to arthritis, contribute to diabetes, contribute to fat storage, which is also linked to diabetes. So we, in our blog article that we're prepping for the new year on detoxification, I wanted to add in there the importance of doing in-body testing, which we do at our office. You can measure your or your extracellular water compartments to see if you're retaining water, a sign of toxicity. Having a lot of muscle pain, inflammation, a sign of toxicity. Skin problems, another sign of toxicity. Elevated fat levels on the body. The body will store toxins in fat tissue to get it away from critical organs. So the issue of toxicity is in every discussion throughout all of the clients that I see on a day-to-day basis, and just have to hone in on a continual support because the cells are always detoxifying. You're always breathing out toxins. You're always sweating out toxins. You're always urinating out toxins, pooping out toxins. We want to make that as efficient as possible, because if it's not, and we reabsorb toxins and then fat levels go up, if you're not at your ideal fat level like you were when you graduated from high school, if you were in good shape as a high school student, then you really want to work on detoxification. It's a key element for weight loss, not just, of course, the immune protection and reducing your risk of cancer. But this topic, I just encourage everybody to sign up for the what are we calling it, Jason?
We're doing a live class, and it's a little bit more than a class. It's really a group nutrition, I guess you could say, a group nutrition consult.
Interactive, right? So people can.
We're going in great detail with these people. We're having them do the body composition test, and we're going to get a program tailored to their biochemical needs. And so it's obviously, if you have certain blood work markers that have to do with detoxification and immunity, those are helpful, and we can talk. We'll talk a little bit about those. But primarily, everybody that signs up and comes in person will actually get included a body composition test that they'll do before the class, bring the results with them, and we'll be able to go through those with them and develop a menu plan and supplements based on their needs. Obviously, the supplement bundle, the detox bundle, is the primary focus as far as the supplements. And there's a general, I guess you could say, regimen for that. But we can get even more specific if we have your body composition and other markers that you bring with you. So it's going to be pretty neat, and we're going to be doing more of those actually this year on different health topics and different, just basically different programs. We're going to be focusing on helping people deal with heart disease and reverse the heart disease, reverse diabetes, all these chronic conditions that have to do with inflammation and autoimmunity. We're going to be having these group consult sessions and helping people really figure this out for themselves at a lower price than it would be for like a one-on-one consult. So a lot more people can take part in that and really start seeing results. So we're really excited about that. We hope you, if you're local, can join us. We're going to see about having it be able to be streamed and record the video so that people can partake that can't be here in person as well. So let us know if you have interest in that. Send us comments or questions via email, info@prospernutrition.com, or you can type it into the comments that you're interested in here on the video. So it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about it.
One of the things that concerns me in this world of misinformation out there, especially on safe ways to lose weight, is the over focus on doing like keto diets where they take really acidic foods that oftentimes have a lot of toxins in them, whether they're dairy products or meat products that aren't clean.
Yeah.
They do link, and the article talks about it, of ketone excess contributing to toxicity and inflammation, which then weakens immunity and increases cancer risk. So, we're hearing reports of many family members that were overindulgent for too long of a time on those types of diets. We heard of someone yesterday mysteriously having cancer. And they were like, well, where did this come from? And we were probably pretty certain it was from the excess ketosis process that they were involved with. And in weight loss,
Yeah.
overfunction. Unhealthy weight loss is all around us, and it's doable. And the best way to do it is the hard way. And everything that's difficult is of best rewards.
Yeah. I mean, what is that phrase? It says anything, it seems like anything that's worthwhile is worthwhile doing is not necessarily going to be easy.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
some challenge to getting there. It's kind of like, a lot of people use the phrase, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Well, I'm going to go make some money, but really the best way to word it probably is I need to earn some money. And so that's something I've been thinking about lately, is changing my thought process and the way that the language I use in regard to how I work to earn money rather than make it, because we can't really make it like out of thin air. So
You got a good point there. Thanks for that.
yeah, go ahead, Steve.
On our group sessions, we're going to get into, and we'll probably cover it in some of the subsequent weeks as we get prepared. Now let's see, are we on next week, Jason, on meeting, or is that, I know we're taking a week off. Is that a week between?
Oh, yes, we will be on next week. But
yeah,
we'll
okay.
be
So between
the week
Christmas
after
and
that,
New
we
Year's,
will be off. Yeah.
the 28th will be off. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, and so on that point that we're bringing up here in regard to environmental immune disruptors, that article that we just shared in the chat, if you're live with us, there's a link in the chat to that article that we're talking about. This has been a part of what we've been doing for a long time, teaching people about the chemicals in our environment, how that is adding to their health problems, so many different chemicals. And so we want to make sure that you're aware of some specifics. And we saw this great article. It says cancer prevention, top 5 cancer causing chemicals to avoid for cancer prevention. Did you mention that just a moment ago yet? Or could we get into that article now a little bit?
We could. I was looking at the EWG's Guide to Food Additives.
Okay.
Go ahead and share the one you have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is helpful for people to know about. I'm going to share it in the chat, the link. And we'll obviously share it in the notes of the show as well. Down at the bottom of the video, we'll have this link. But these 5 chemicals, this is just a list of 5. But what we know of, there are hundreds of chemicals in our environment that are adding to our immune burden and could be leading our body for greater cancer risk. And so this is just a small list of 5 that they're bringing up here, and it's helpful to know about. But if you want to know in greater detail the things that are stressing out your body's immune system and can lead your body to cancer, there's a test called the LRA, lymphocyte response assay, that tests your immune response to chemicals in your environment, hundreds of chemicals. And so that's helpful to know your specific, response. And then you'll be able to actually start investigating your environment and getting your lifestyle in order. But these 5 are helpful to know about in general. So here,
when you mentioned that, Jason, that LRA test,
yeah,
I always like to talk about the importance of knowing that if I'm eating a food that's causing inflammation, literally a food that we think is healthy for us can be increasing our risk to cancer. And so the LRA helps to determine that. If you're not getting, what happens is that LRA is identifying the chemical responders to inflammation in the body called cytokines, and their response at the level of what they call interleukin-6. Cytokine chemical reactions. Now, there's a test called the C-reactive protein. It's a general test that kind of gives us an overall general picture if there's inflammation in those areas. But the lymphocyte response assay is so specific. You can identify the chemical, you can identify the food. You want to get this done. And I'm prepping for my next one. I thought I was going to do it last week, but it didn't work out a couple of weeks ago. But I'm on the verge of getting it done. Maybe do it by the end of the year. I may do it right after the first of the year. We'll see what the schedule has. But I'm keeping up on mine. And I'm always encouraged, because every year as I work on immunity and eliminate these things, my immune system gets more resilient. And there's less chemicals I'm reactive to, less foods I'm reactive to. Can't say enough good about that lymphocyte response assay by ELISA Act Technology. So we do that at nutritionandhealthcenter.com. You're welcome to order that test. And
that's right. Yeah, that's a great test. So definitely check it out. But these 5 chemicals here, let's review them real quick. One here says toxic forever chemicals in consumer products. So PFAs can be found in the vast array of consumer products and industrial applications. Even very low doses of them in drinking water have been linked to increased risk of testicular or kidney cancer, in addition to other health harms.
PFAs those are used a lot of times in the Teflon coating of pans. So we only recommend stainless steel cookware. Very important to stay away from PFAs.
Yeah, and here it's here's actually in the article it talks about that, Steve. That's helpful to know. Try to avoid anything stain, wrinkle, or water resistant, such as nonstick pans, stain resistant upholstery, spill-proof children's products and toys. So while things have become, it's interesting to see the link where people are increasing the convenience factor in our society. It seems like the toxic load is increasing at the same time when we are increasing conveniences. So that's an interesting thing to think about. Contaminants in your tap water. So we kind of talked a little bit about that in that last point, because those were one of the aspects of contaminants, but it also talks about nitrate, arsenic, industrial solvents, and even radiation elements from natural deposits found in higher concentrations as a result of mining, drilling, processing. So this is something that getting a good home water filter or some sort of water filtration system can help with. What is your experience in regard to that, Steve?
Well, knowing what's in the water supply motivated me to move to the country and have my own well drilled, and then put filters on it, put conditioners, put pH balancers, and clean it up as best as possible so that we can shower in it, drink it. I take it with me when I go during the day.
Yeah.
Getting filtration is so important. They say that the studies that I've looked at, average city water system has about 42 unregulated chemicals, and many of them are carcinogenic, that are found in the water supply. They just can't filter that water clean enough with their recycling.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a big issue. All right, artificial food colors. Now, this is something that's really important for people to know, especially, well, this can relate to, and I've heard this can be related to a lot of people having, like younger people having attention issues.
Yes,
I've heard that.
Definitely an issue.
But it's linked to increasing cancer risk as well. So these are, and when you explain what artificial coloring is to someone, how do you kind of explain that to them, Steve?
Well, most of the time, I just tell them you'll usually see it on a package as a number, like a red number 3 or a blue number 6 or yellow number 5, whatever the designation is. And they're just going to have these toxic effects that our body doesn't need. We need to stay away from those. And interesting enough, my first LRA test, I tested 3 artificial colors, food colors, that I was positive on. Now I'm not anymore, haven't been. But once I learned about where they were sourced from, I got away from those products. I'd be so careful about packaged products and what's in them from.
Yeah, the coloring is a big issue, and you can come in contact with it in different ways. So be careful of that. Titanium, it's saying here in the article, one of these chemicals is titanium dioxide, which makes food a brighter white, and it may also increase cancer risk. It's found in popular candies, as well as coffee, creamer, sauces, and dressings. So with and kind of coming back to the LRA test, one of the main things that really makes a difference in your health is you doing something about it. And when you're aware of the things in your environment that can increase risk or are specifically causing your immune system to overreact with the LRA test, then you can actually start finding those things and getting them out of your life. And it's not a perfect process. It's, but you do the best you can and you relieve burden on your immune system. And then your immune system's able to focus its attention on healing and identifying cancer and removing it from the body. Because as maybe you can explain this, Steve, our body's immune system is designed to remove cancer.
Exactly. We have been fearfully and wonderfully designed, and we get into that with our immune blog and our immune information. And of course, our immune bundle is a good parallel with this detox. On that article, specifically on immune disruptors, inflammation, cancer, the carcinogenesis article from Oxford, where was that? Yeah, Oxford Journals. I was noticing the terminology of epigenetics. And though I have some significant weakness in my genetic predisposition to not filter out toxins really efficiently, which does contribute to rheumatoid arthritis, and they talk about it in this article. And I was told I'd spend a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And the fact that I learned about detox over 30 years ago and started to enhance the body's ability to do detoxification more efficiently, it kept me from getting into a wheelchair. And I keep that constant process supported so that the inflammation stays down, the immune system stays strong, and I can stay more mobile and do what God's called me to do. But your epigenetic effect is the effect that the environment has on your genetics. And everybody's genetics is a little bit different, but we're still fearfully and wonderfully made. We can all detoxify. I just don't do it as efficient as others. There's a big following of people out there that are buying methylated forms of B12 or methylfolate because they found out that they have an MTHFR dysfunction. It doesn't mean you can't metabolize folate or B12 at all. It means you need more of it more often. It's water soluble, your body's using it up, and you've got some genetic predispositions or some protein enzymatic links that just don't function real efficiently, and the environment, of course, makes that more of a factor of what you're exposed to.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it'd be helpful to share a little video. I know you often will share little videos that show T cells attacking cancer. How do you feel about us sharing that real quick?
Oh, yeah. You have that handy?
I pulled one up. There's several here, it looks like.
Okay.
But,
that's always
here,
fun to watch.
I'll share my screen. And it's not going to show the audio, but can you see it?
One of my favorite. Yeah. You see the green cell there is a lymphocyte. It's pining for cancer cells, and once it finds a cancer cell, you see that one attaching to it. It spreads out over the cell, and the chemical that it releases, they show it inside the red molecule. Here's another picture. Killer cell.
So that colorful one is the immune cell?
And they light up more and they become more aggressive the more you fuel them with ascorbate, the more you give them zinc, the more you give them other supportive nutrients. Like in our zinc lozenge, we have echinacea, which activates the lymphocytes.
That's really neat.
Pretty fascinating. Yeah, there's some other videos out there that really show an amazing impact that these cells attack and destroy.
I'll share the link in the chat, folks, so you guys can take a look.
That's how we're designed, to destroy the enemy. 1 John 3:8 says that this was the reason that Jesus was manifest, to destroy the works of the enemy, and that we could have fellowship with God. But the enemy tries to force us into sin, to turn us away from God, but God wants that fellowship with us. I pray that all you listening today would just turn from that old lifestyle. It's behind you anyway. God says, I can start up a new day. The word repent is actually a military term in the Greek that means about face. So just turn a different direction from where you're going, following that new direction. You'll know God always leads all of us. He speaks to us through that still small voice in your heart. He'll lead and guide you. Lord, lead them, guide them into good health, guide them into wise decisions for strengthening their body. Their bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made in your likeness and your image, Lord. You have a purpose and plan for their life to serve and love others and be giving your name glory in the earth and doing it. In Jesus' name.
Thank you, Steve. Well, let's finish this article up. So the fourth one that we're dealing with here as far as chemicals in your environment. And obviously, as you can tell, it says 5, but it's obviously including a lot more in these different categories. So it's 5 categories of chemicals. But this fourth one is pesticides in produce. And obviously, a lot of people are becoming more aware of that. These days, people are avoiding grains and processed grains more often, which is great, but it still is an issue in a lot of different foods, processed foods. So we want you to stay aware of this issue and continue to be vigilant in trying to eat your fruits and vegetables, but trying to eat them organic and non-GMO to avoid these issues. And start growing foods of your own as well. That can help.
Yeah.
That's an important thing that's been lost in our society, is us growing our own foods in our yards, which it's not illegal, and it's something we can do.
So also, buying from the local farmers market, supporting them because they're working hard to provide clean foods, buying organic, and then looking at EWG's Dirty Dozen list. That way you can know what are the most serious pesticide or herbicide contaminants so they are.
Yeah. So what that means, folks, is Dirty Dozen. These have a little bit more of a risk of absorbing those chemicals into the tissues of the plants.
Yeah. Strawberries, they say, is the top one. They just spray so many chemicals on strawberries to keep bugs off of them.
And so with that, folks, you want to really search for these products in organic form. Sir. But then there's one called, what's it called? The Clean 15. I don't know if they have that here on this site, but the Clean 15, I guess you would say that those are a bit more resilient, and you can wash off chemicals on the outside of those and they don't absorb them as much as the Dirty Dozen.
Well, and the growers use very few pesticides on the Clean 15, like an avocado. Bugs can't eat through the outside of an avocado. Or a pineapple. I don't think pineapple's on there too. The core outside of a pineapple is too hard for bugs to eat through.
Okay. That's good. And then the last one here, hair colorants and relaxers. So this is something that gets into chemicals in our environment that we aren't necessarily consuming, but we're putting, getting exposed to, whether breathing them in or on our skin, or, how else could we come in contact? I guess breathing them in and on our skin are the other ways that we come in contact.
Hair dye is linked to breast cancer because it drains down through the head into the lymph system, into the breast. They also link people women that work on golf courses have a 40% higher rate of getting breast cancer than other women that don't work in that environment. Because of pesticide and herbicide chemicals that are sprayed.
They use that on the grass.
Yeah, that's when you drive by a golf course and everything looks perfect. Took a lot of chemicals to get that to happen, keep the bugs off and keep the fungus out. They put in antifungal chemicals. And
there's a really neat thing that they have here. That's in my downloads, but you can get it on the EWG website.
EWG.org. They provide ongoing.
This is a guide to food additives. So it kind of talks about food additives and how you can identify them.
Well,
but again,
they were
Right.
using this guide attached to the discussion about being careful with your salad dressings, because when we go to restaurants, we do not use their salad dressings. There
Yep.
it is. Yeah, because of many of the chemicals, like the hydrogenated oils that are in there. Even if they're using dairy within there, you're going to have some of the chemicals that are getting into the animals, the way that they're fed. Yes, you got to be careful with that. In our book, The Trinity Diet, excuse me, my wife in chapter 11 wrote a great recipe, and just about everybody that has it, salad dressing, says you should bottle this stuff. It's delicious. So it's Amy's salad dressing. That's in our chapter 11 of our book, The Trinity Diet. You can get that on Amazon. And we encourage you to get educated, know what God says about health and nutrition. We're trying to hear his voice in every way he's speaking through his word. And the evidence is all around us. God's evidence is real. He's made us for a purpose, to glorify his name.
Yes. So make sure y'all stay tuned. We're going to be talking next week in more detail about the detoxification, power of detoxification for helping your body to heal. Detoxification is so important. It's a natural process of your body, and it's going to help you in all areas of health, especially with cancer. So stay tuned and take part, if you can, in that class that we're going to be having. If you're local, you can get in touch with us, info@prospernutrition.com or info@nutritionandhealthcenter.com, and get more information about the class. We're going to be sending out a way for you to register. This class in person is limited, and our goal is to record it and offer it as well to people online. But we want to make sure that the people that are there are well cared for. So we're going to make sure that things are done properly in that regard. But Steve, do you have any last things you want to share with the folks from today about?
I do. I would just like to close out and encourage them to purchase the detox bundle, to get ready to get started at the first of the year, to purchase the additional products that are in the immune bundle that are not in the detox bundle, and get ready for the best year of your life next year. These are pharmaceutical grade, high quality supplements like you cannot get in the marketplace. That's why we private labeled them. They're professional products that we use in our clinic, and we have made them available to the public. They are not like anything that you're buying out there, and you can read more about that in the product data sheets that are provided at prospernutrition.com. So that targeted supplementation for detoxification is pretty vast there, but it's all available in our detox bundle. And I believe you're going to give a discount code for that, and just encourage people to get that right away and to start using it, because many people have detox symptoms. Maybe they put off doing detoxification. These nutrients that are in the detox bundle are nutrients that I take every day, like the vitamin C, the Pure Omega, the Liver Protect, the Liver Detox, the Brain Detox, the Cell Energy, the Zinc Power, Magnesium Power. These are some of the extras that are also in there. But it's powerful what you can do to keep the body healthy, and while everybody else around you is not. God promises we can.
Well, yeah, it's a missing piece. Well, I would say a missing piece. What it seems like we have found, Steve, this piece is the piece that people should be focusing on but are missing because of the industry, the healthcare or medical industry, and the emphasis on getting rid of or reducing symptoms. And the thing is they're focusing a lot on getting help, I guess you could say, marketing techniques, and getting people to maybe have a change in the way that they feel. And so they're not necessarily helping you resolve the issue so that you actually are healed. And that has to do with surgeries and chemicals that they're taking in medications. But with supplementation, that is a different approach, because these supplements, if you get the right supplements that are sourced from food nutrients, so you take a food, you kind of process it down to where you get the certain vital nutrients from it, so that you can concentrate those nutrients and get a higher amount because of lack of nutrients in other areas of our life for whatever reason that is. In the cities especially, we're getting a lot of exposure to chemicals, so we need a higher concentration of ascorbate, for example, to help our immune system. But supplements are going to supply those nutrients so that your body can actually do the work that it's designed to do to heal itself. And so that's something that is important for you to know. And any sort of issue that you may be going to in trying to medicate is something that most likely you can find supplements that can really help your body to heal that issue, rather than just suppress symptoms and push it down the road. Or often, and this is what we find, people are creating other problems when taking these chemicals in their medications as well. And some medications, if you look at the side effects, they could cause cancer. And so,
Yes.
So that's another thing that you should be aware of. That's really important. And I bring that up because supplements we've just seen are just so effective for helping people to heal, and a better solution than using medications or things like that. So and this is something that we can get into another time, but even hormone replacement therapy, that's becoming popular, and people think that that's natural, like that's something that that's not going to harm your body, and it's natural, you're just giving your body hormones. But that can create a lot of health issues if you start doing that and get deep into hormone replacement therapy. So
excess, especially because of the effect they can have to drive up tissue cell replication and cancer cell growth.
It's sad because people and that we work with, are promoting that. I guess they work with, like, colleagues, other health professionals that we know are promoting that, and they're well-meaning, but it just seems that they're missing important things. And I'm wondering, like, what is the motivation? That's something that maybe you can help clarify. And I don't know, this is probably more than we can deal with right now, and table this for another day. But that might be a question that someone would ask if they were here in the chat. Why is hormone replacement therapy becoming so popular and being pushed? What is your
you can give someone a little bit of hormones, and hormones come from the Greek. The name word hormone comes from the Greek word to urge on, and it's a powerful impact in such a small amount. So when you give someone hormones, and this has been done for a long time, that the Greeks used to take and collect the urine of young athletes that would be in the Olympic Games, and they had their bathhouses where they would urinate down on these pans underneath the bathhouses, and they would collect the urine and dry it. And the sediment of that urine, they would then roll it up in pastries and give it to, the elite in the community, the leaders and so forth, and it would boost their hormone levels. So it's been done for a long time, and there is a rush of energy that's available. Well, God put in plants herbal steroidal saponins, which are adaptogen properties and properties that enhance your body's ability to produce the amount of hormones that it needs. Now, women may be saying, and this is a big topic to cover, but women may be saying, I had a hysterectomy. Well, yeah, that's like what happens in menopause, but your adrenal glands back up the system. And there's a great book called Adrenal Fatigue, the 21st Century Stress Syndrome by James Wilson. I encourage you that you get it and understand how you're blasting those adrenals and what you can do to help get them to heal and respond so that you can enjoy your latter years of life, that they'll control your sleep-wake cycle. They're involved in inflammation control. They're involved in all the sex hormone production that's lost by the ovaries and testes over time. We've really got to take and pay close attention to our adrenals in our latter years of life if we want to live a long, healthy life and do it correctly. So that's how we're doing it. And we're excited about continuing it on and look forward to sharing more. I really do want to get into, during this preparatory time before we get into detox, and this will be a good topic next week because you mentioned medications, and I'd like to talk about liver toxicity and how important the liver's involvement is and how we're supporting the liver with detoxification elements in the detox bundle. So I've got an article on that, and it links it to the different drugs that cause toxicity in the liver. So
yeah, looking forward to that. Y'all stay
topic.
tuned and plan to tune in next week, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time Zone. We're here live on the Prosper Nutrition YouTube channel. And so join us then. We'll have a break the following week on, I believe that would be the 28th. But join us for dealing with that, and send me over that article, Steve, so that I can have it. What we're going to do here is we're going to be signing off here in just a second. But we're glad you joined us. Remember that you can get in touch with us, send us your questions. We'll address your questions, and we're here to help you. We're the Prosper Nutrition store. We have the supplements available, but we're also health professionals that are available to help you as well with your health questions and concerns. So feel free to reach out to us. And the discount code today that you guys, it's a coupon code that you use at checkout. You just type it into there's a little window, and you can type that in. It's today's date, 12/14/23 show, 12/14/23 show. And that's 10% off that order that you will place. And you can use that to get the detox bundle and any other supplements that we mentioned today. But if you guys have any questions, please get in touch with us. Join us next week. And Steve, thank you so much for sharing your insight into this important issue. So many people are dealing with this concern and worry. And I think that the information that you share and that we share on this topic can really help change people's minds and lives for the better. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it immensely. We'll continue on and can't share enough about this topic.
Thank you all for watching. This is Jason Steves and Steve signing off here at the Prosper Nutrition Show, where we want you to prosper and be in health. Y'all take care. Have a good week.